Pretty eyes, pretty thighs, shawty, she a dime. Demon girl, evil eyes, she be telling lies. Slim waist.
So what are some like potential and future applications that Xenobots could have?
I think in the short term, I think if we're going to treat them as robots, the simplest place to start is look at the applications for which traditional robots are already useful. You know, the most commercially successful robot of all time is the Roomba. If we're setting aside industrial robots, which are kind of a different class, Roombas are very simple, but they're able to go and clean up or do something in an area that's hard for us to reach or we don't want to reach, which is under the sofa, right? It's not rocket science, but it took a long time to actually make a machine that could do that better than a human. So I think in the near term, if we can create Xenobots that have simple sensor motor coordinations, there are a lot of micro environments, you know, that would be perfect for an 800 micron diameter robot. An environment that's also, you know, good for a biological robot to enter and leave. You know, we might not want to send metal or plastics into that micro environment, and just see if we can get an AI to design them to act as like little tiny biological Roombas. I think in the years to come, there'll be some of those applications, but I think looking further down the road, there's some much more profound implications and application of Xenobots, and I'll let Mike talk to those.
Yeah, I think there are kind of three big areas of impact for Xenobots. So one is the kind of practical sort of useful living machines, right? So we're talking about things in the environment, so cleaning up various molecules, sensing, anything environmental, yeah. There are also biomedical applications, so you might think about sculpting tissue or modifying somehow other types of biologicals in vitro. Anywhere where you need a really tiny, set of manipulators that are really hard to make. Also, because these are skin cells, they likely have all kinds of sensors and computational machinery. It's easy to put enzymes in there. All of these things that you wouldn't be able to necessarily build from scratch with using traditional robotics. So in the body, out of the body, in the environment, lots of applications like that. The other thing that's really interesting about them is that aside from applications of the actual bots, this whole question of how do I get a collection of cells to do what I want, right? So using AI to say, what kind of stimuli do I need to give a bunch of cells so that they create the kind of thing that I want? That right there is basically, if we knew how to do that, that would be the solution to almost all medical issues. So pretty much everything except for infectious disease. So we're talking about birth defects, regenerative repair, cancer, aging, degenerative disease. All of these things would go away if we had the ability to tell cells what to build. And so to me, the kind of major going forward, the major applications of this kind of platform is to be a sandbox for developing an AI that would help us communicate to other cell types in the body, outside the body, right? This is not just about the Xenobots. This is a toy platform to help us practice, right, controlling this collective intelligence of cells. And ultimately, and then the third thing is what we've been talking about, which is to really expand our understanding and break down really outdated vocabulary, such that's useful for things like new ethics for creatures that don't share a structural or a life story with us, right? So how do we relate to new beings that didn't evolve naturally? They don't look like us. They didn't get here by the same process, and yet they have certain kinds of intelligence. How do we deal with them? I think this is by beginning to grapple with these issues with the Xenobots, we are starting to mature our concepts of relating to other minds in unconventional sorts of guises.